Welcome to 5-10 minutes of slowing down intentionally to take part in the silence challenge. This is all about moving into a little bit more stillness, slowness, quietness, the opposite to modern life. It's like an antidote to modern life. These days we are often busy, we're often distracting ourselves, we don't find the time for stillness, for solitude, for silence. It's all about more, getting more, wanting more, being more, doing more. And this movement, if you like, is about doing less, being enough, having enough, without all of that pushing and striving for more. Today is day 18. This little book is just magical, Silence in the Age of Noise, and it just lends itself to everything that I teach and stand for as someone with the tendency to struggle with anxiety, and from a constitution, if you like, of, in Ayurveda we call it vata, meaning kind of there's this wanting to move, struggling with being still, so needing things that I can do like yoga, meditation, breath work that helps to do something that is restful, to do something but that it is slow and calming for the nervous system. Kind of sometimes call it active rest, because if you're anything like me, you struggle just to go, well, I'm just going to sit and do nothing. So we're playing with that during this challenge, where we sit and do nothing, but literally just for a few seconds. On day 18, we are up to 2.5 minutes. So all you need to do is put down everything, sit back and relax and listen to me read this little chapter. And then we have 2.5 minutes of silence. That is it. That's all you have to do. Put the specs on. I like the idea that experiences of silence are an end unto themselves. Their value cannot be weighed and measured like so many other things. Yet silence can also be a tool. Ha 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 was the reaction of the serial entrepreneur Elon Musk when I asked him about silence. But after reflecting for a while, he concluded that he is someone who dwells on his own inner silence, often shutting out the world in order to open up his thoughts. Musk has been doing this his whole life. While growing up, he was often beaten up both in and out of school. With few friends at hand, he had time to think on his own. When I talk to him about his yet-to-be-realised ideas, it's clear he doesn't listen to consultants or other experts, but rather to a quiet space inside himself. It's not enough for him to revolutionise the car, energy and aerospace industries. New disciplines must be turned on their heads. It is an ongoing revolution that will cease only when he is no longer able to shut himself in with himself, but instead starts drifting with the current. Musk is particularly good at using what is called the first principle. Instead of relying on sanctioned truths, he uncovers what is fundamentally true in order to reason from that basis. He disconnects from the world. He does this in opposition to the normal way of operating, listening to what others say is possible and building on that. NASA scientists were always convinced that space shuttles could only be used once, which was a tremendously expensive, accepted truth that had lingered since NASA's early days. This continued all the way up until the moment when Musk informed them that there was no reason not to build a shuttle that could be launched multiple times into space, and eventually to Mars. Costs would decrease, safety would increase. I often find it hard to shut the world out when our days are so full. When I asked Mark Juncosa, one of the minds behind Musk's space program, whether he ever has the chance to think out the ideas that could revolutionise the rocket industry, He replied, "A normal workday at best contains 8 hours of meetings, a few hours to respond to emails. It all blurs together. The only time to shut out the world is when I exercise, surf, take a shower, or sit on the toilet. That's when new solutions surface." It's a really good point, this, because if you've ever had a really good idea, or thought of something new and fresh or aligned, you might notice that it tends to be when you're in the shower, when you're out on a walk, or even when you're on the toilet. It's that moment of silence that is allowing that channel to open up, to allow your intuition to begin to receive the signals. I recognise this first principle in myself. I founded my own company 20 years ago, a publishing house. I was living in Cambridge, my girlfriend was pregnant, she lived in Oslo, and I thought it was about time to move back home, get a job, and hopefully be able to afford to buy a nice house for my family. Back in Norway, as I was washing the dishes, I decided to start a publishing house. The entire book industry was dominated by an established truth that no one had thought to question. Books of high quality were to be sold through booksellers and book clubs at a high price. Romantic novels, on the other hand, were to have the monopoly in supermarkets. Full stop. I didn't understand why things had to be like that. Several people offered me good advice, and I'm grateful for that. But thinking through the whole idea and taking a decision occurred while washing dishes, undisturbed in the kitchen. Another established truth is that you must be a big risk taker if you wish to be an entrepreneur. This is a falsehood as well. I was constantly told that established authors would not want to have their books published by a startup. They maintained that the literary culture was built into the walls of my competitors who had been at it for 100 years, and that it wasn't in our blood. I thought it was more important that the culture resided in the heads of my colleagues. I am not so stupid as to compare myself to Elon Musk. However, when I look back on my time as a publisher, the only unusual thing I have done on a completely different scale to Musk was to stand uninterrupted at the kitchen sink and raise a few questions about sanctioned truths. It is true. It's when you're in it, when you're sat at your desk, when you're ploughing through emails or scrolling, you're not able to think, you don't have the space and the capacity. But in moments of silence, things can just open up and blow your mind. So let's sit together now for 2.5 minutes. Take a breath, let it go. Close your eyes if you want to. Let us begin. that's it for today, guys. That's hopefully, if I've counted correctly, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You never know, with practicing these pockets of peace, these moments of silence, you might have a brainwave beyond all brainwaves that could change your life. You could do this while you're doing something mindful, like reading. You could just have that silence, reading a book, taking a mindful walk, washing the dishes, breath work, just lying down, relaxing, sitting in the garden, doing some gardening. There's lots of different ways that you can build on these moments of silence, these pockets of peace. I hope this begins to become a daily occurrence for you and that you find it useful. Please do like this video. It really helps. Just a like, a comment, a little heart, or a comment to say what your biggest takeaway of today was, something that resonated with you. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. I think I'm at around 220 subscribers, so it would be great to get a few more. Thanks very much. Have a lovely Wednesday, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.